Hello? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our event. So first, we'd like to thank you for all the sponsors, which is Epic Events from Anna and Dan. Always special thanks to UC Berkeley Extension to provide this amazing venue for us. Also, 51VR is a company that I work for. It's a virtual reality startup that provides software. And then Surfy is also one of our sponsors. So the schedule for today is opening, which is right now. And then following that is we have 4 teams, gonna give them pitches. After that, our judges gonna give feedbacks and then ask a few questions. And then the last part will be the networking part. So the structure for the pitch is each team has 12 minutes, which is 4 minutes will be the presentation. We will be really strict in terms of time, so prepare yourself. And then 4 minutes will be the Q&A from our judges, and then the audience. And then the last 4 minutes will be the judges' feedbacks. So let's welcome our 4 beautiful judges for today's event. And we would love each of you to give a short introduction of yourself, your firm, and what type of tech or startups that you're investing in. And then if you can, please share some of the successful cases of yours, and that will help us to understand more about you and your firm. Can we start from Amy?
Sure. Hi, I'm Amy Lemire with the WXR Fund. So we invest in female-led virtual and augmented reality and artificial intelligence companies. The fund has been around for 2 years now, has done 3 accelerators. The last cohort did a pitch showcase in December. I was just explaining one of the most exciting investments we've done lately is a company called Embodied Labs. They do training for caregivers for the aging population in virtual reality.
Thank you.
Hey everyone, Steph Ree from Playground Global. We're a deep tech, frontier tech investor based in Palo Alto, seed series typically. We love bold and daring companies that have a strong technology core, or strong technology moat at the core. Some areas of interest to us are AI, autonomy, biotech, next-gen compute. Don't want to pick too many favorites, but let's see, in Q4, we've had several of our portfolio companies go on to raise larger rounds. One is called PsiQuantum, which is a photonics, silicon photonics-based quantum computer. Another is called Fabric, formerly known as Common Sense Robotics, that builds automated micro-fulfillment centers to package grocery deliveries more quickly. And many more if you check out our website.
Hi everyone, thanks for having us, thanks for coming. My name is Allison Steets. I am an investor with Blue Run Ventures. Blue Run is a VC based in Menlo Park focused on seed and Series A investment opportunities and enabling technology. So AI, blockchain, drones, IoT across enterprise software, enterprise infrastructure, digital health, fintech. Some companies you will know that we've invested in, or we led the A in PayPal and Waze back in the day, as well as Cabot and Coupa. A recent investment we made in the last year was a company called Always AI that I'm pretty excited about. It's a platform helping developers deploy computer vision models on the edge devices. Super excited to be here, thanks.
Hello everyone, my name is Yating Xia. I'm an investor at T-Fund. So T-Fund is the global venture fund with our KLP being T-Cell Corporation. For those who don't know, T-Cell is one of the largest consumer electronic companies in the world. So I think it ranked number 2 in worldwide sales of TVs last year. Also sells mobile phones and all the home appliances you can imagine, and the display tag. So we focused on things that are relevant to T-Cell's strategic focuses, like AI, the display tag, chip, and also all the interesting hardware tech companies. And we also invest in industrial solutions like robotics and IoT. We're excited to be here. Yeah, thanks.
Thank you for all of your judges to be here today. Just a reminder that this event is recorded, so kindly turn your phone into mute. Very exciting to welcome our first team, that is Pilota, and then Cyrus and Bhupinder will be here to present.
Hello. Hello everybody, we're Pilota. Oh, no, relax. So, hello everybody. We're Pilota, my name is Cyrus, and this is my co-founder, Kulvinder, and we're here to solve flight disruption. So I think flight disruption is something that we all know really sucks. You have typically 2 options when it happens. Either you go argue with the airline counter, or you just have to wait out your turn. Either way, this is a time-consuming, frustrating, and costly process. In fact, it costs businesses on average $1,200 per traveler per disruption. So that's why we created Pilota. Pilota uses machine learning to predict flight disruptions and then automatically rebook a customer ahead of time on a non-disrupted flight for free. The business model is similar to insurance. We charge a fee on a flight-by-flight basis, pull together these fees, and then use that money to cover the price of the rebooked ticket. So let's see how the situation plays out if you use Pilota protection. 8 p.m. the day before your flight, we detect with high probability that your flight is going to be delayed 3 hours or more. We instantly let you know, and then list of alternative flights optimized for least disruption, for which you can pick so that you can get to your destination on time and on your terms.
So we saw there's a lot of potential target markets for this type of product, but initially we are targeting travel management companies. So these are the companies that corporations use to help handle their employees' travel needs. So just in the US alone, there are over 9,000 TMCs, and they do on average about 90,000 bookings per year. This is overall larger opportunity of more than 20 billion plus in just the US. So at this point you may be thinking, what about the airlines? Don't they accommodate me? Or what about other solutions in the market? And we provide 3 key advantages. First of all, we are empowering the traveler. Typically today, you are at the mercy of the airline and their preferences. So if you're not a high priority passenger, you're not frequent flyer, you're not going to be put on the next flight first. So we give you transparency and control into that process. Secondly, we're providing a proactive solution. So this allows us to, we detect and help you mitigate a disruption event before it even occurs, compared to the other competitors in the market. Lastly, we are helping you not just mitigate these disruptions, but avoid them altogether, so that your travel and your itinerary is disruption-free. So at this point, since we launched in July 2019, and so far we have 2 ongoing pilots. Within that time period, we built out our alpha, launched with these 2 pilots, and have initial conversations ongoing with big companies such as United Technologies and some airports and airline partners. We're also backed by investors such as 500 startups. So how does this all work? And basically, when we started this out, we looked at it from a research perspective, and we were looking at the problem. What we found was, in the US, for flight delay data, typically most of the delays are a result of operational inefficiencies. About 70% of delays are a result of that. So this is where we saw our opportunity. So from that, we basically tried to determine how we can use different type of machine learning methods and tools. And financial engineering has some very interesting tools there to help us address the stochasticity or randomness within flight delay data. So actually, we built out our custom machine learning models, and we actually get an accuracy within 10 to 30 minutes error rate of the actual delay minutes. So all of this would not have been possible without our amazing team. And all 4 of us met while we were doing our masters at Cornell. 3 of us, myself, Cyrus, and Omer, were doing our computer science masters. We met Sonia, our CEO, who was doing our MBA. 2 of our advisors on our team, we have the former CTO of Travelocity, Josh Hartman, and also PhD Technology and Operations Management, Kashish Arora. Thank you for your time, and please come sign up for our product.
Oh, thank you. So now, questions from our judges. No, doesn't matter.
Great job, guys. So you touched on the data that you guys were gathering, but how are you, is that public data? How are you guys gathering it? Are there additional data that you're pulling in, like weather APIs and the like, to complement the operational efficiency data?
Yeah. So we're first of all just using, like you mentioned, the open source data sets that are available, but we also have strategic partnerships with the de facto schedules provider for airlines. Their name is OAG, and also with the fare provider for airlines, ATPCO. In addition to this, we're generating our own data sets through some of the other data that we're collecting and passing through our systems. Oh, and weather data is from the national NOAA, as well as from the FAA, which provides us with flight plans as well as weather forecasts for airports.
And the rebooking suggestions themselves, they're also automated?
Yes, so as we previously mentioned, we're going B2B, so when we engage with these TMCs and we initially integrate our system, we give them the option of them handling the, when there's prompt for your flight is going to be delayed or canceled, they can select an alternate, or they can pre-select preferences and we'll automatically book them, which so far that's what we've seen in use case.
Can you talk about how you acquire those pilot customers?
Yeah. So we started off this project I mentioned as kind of like exploration research during our masters, and we reached out to a number of people in the industry. And so for our first pilots, Fifth Meridian Travel, they're New York City-based TMC. They're like a small size TMC, and they were actually working with us alongside while we were doing this project. And we ended up launching a startup out of it, and so they were willing to commit to being our first pilot. The second pilot, we were going to a lot of conferences, travel tech conferences such as Focusrite, a number of other big name conferences, and we established some presence there. So from there, people were actually reaching out to us, and we got some inbound from APROG was one of the companies, United Technologies was at one of these events, and they invited us for like a closed door session with 10 other startups.
Can you speak a little bit more about how you're measuring like the accuracy of disruption?
Yeah. So we're using the root mean squared error. Basically, this is giving us like from the original delay minutes, we're comparing what is the mean squared error to our prediction. Rather than just using mean absolute error or mean squared error, this helps us account better for when there's larger fluctuations from that original delay point. So basically helps us account for when there's periods of like higher volatility, which like summer or holiday season are better.
And so, just so I understand, like when you're sending a push notification, like, okay, you should rebook, is it a matter of being disrupted post 30 minutes, like later? How are you deciding on what that window should be?
You mean when do we notify?
Yeah.
So
Or when you recommend to?
Yeah. So ideally we are doing it the day before, but in some of the cases, of course, it's unpredictable because of the randomness, and we actually propose it like either right before the flight, whenever it meets our threshold, so while we're continuously checking if it meets our threshold for disruption probability, or if once the disruption occurs, typically the flight plan of a flight is updated about an hour before it's updated, or before it's announced at the airport.
I think it's kind of interesting to think about who else would want this sort of data and analytics. Have you thought about selling these types of analytics back to airlines to help them optimize their operations more efficiently?
Yes, so far we presented at Hangar 51 in Madrid, which is basically the International Airlines Group, their major conference. From that we had initial conversations with Vueling Airlines, British Airways, I think we haven't talked much with them, but Hamad, which also owns Qatar Airways in Qatar, they were interested in maybe looking at something for the upcoming World Cup in 2022.
And another distribution channel is through the OTA, online travel agencies. So we're in talk with a couple of them, and what they're interested in seeing is the analytics on their search page. So for example, you go on Kayak, you search for a flight, there we would present with risk. And what they want to see is if there's two flights that are priced differently, one is cheaper, one is more expensive, but the more expensive one has lower disruption, would they be willing to pick that flight? The second one, the OTA realm, it's the fees is razor thin. So they make a lot of money with auxiliary services. So one of the things we're discussing with them is to be on the checkout. So again, you go to Kayak, you purchase your flight, on the checkout you are prompted with insurance, and we could be one of these alternative options.
Okay, so we have like about 2 minutes for the judges to give some feedbacks.
Super interesting idea. I guess I would add a little bit more, time permitting on the business model and just how you see that scaling. But yeah, I think it's interesting.
Yeah, thanks for coming. Seems like you guys have solid traction with global airline networks and whatnot. So great job so far. I think plus one on Amy's point. We'd love to see more on the business model long term, as well as maybe some market sizing and what you think the market opportunity is long term.
I thought you guys did a great job and set us up to ask like questions that we then got more in detail to the business, which is the best part. Like that's the point of doing a pitch. So that was really good. I echo my colleagues here on a little more detail in the pitch. I mean, time permitting on the business model, but also would love to see like product roadmap features, where you want to go, and then of course, like if you have an ask for this pitch, that's always helpful to include. And then whenever I don't know if you had a slide where you put your contact information, but that's always just helpful if you end with a slide and you have your names and your emails, so that we can write it down afterwards.
Give it to you
Yeah, good presentation, congratulations. In addition to all the points other judges mentioned, I also think it's really helpful just to put the slides talking about your pricing strategies and average contract size and all of that will be pretty helpful for investors. And probably it's just for this presentation, but probably already know, but just for your future pitch to investors, always put the how much you're trying to raise or something like that, or your fundraising history. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. So let's welcome our second team, V-Rotors, Neil.
Hi, my name is Neil. My company is V-Rotors. Who wants to fly? Well, from your home, you can fly our drones located on remote courses around the world, and all you need is your PC. Now, you could try to buy your drone yourself, figure out the regulations, probably crash it. Or you can come to our platform, V-Rotors, and at home you put on a VR headset, like Oculus, or use your PC, and you go into a virtual cockpit with your co-pilot, and you have all the instrumentation, and you're piloting a real drone. Now we use augmented reality overlaid on the real environment to set the course objectives, and to put name tags on all the other drones which are racing against you. These are giant courses, 5 to 10 acres, so some of the largest drone courses in the world. Now we launched this last month, and so we're flying live on Twitch with streamers today. Now those streamers are going to earn some money through an affiliate program. So next month we're launching our sales to consumers. We have 4 revenue channels. We sell the flights directly. So if you want to enter the tournament, you pay $20 and you enter the tournament and fly. We also sell a ride-along pass. So think of Millennium Falcon and the Gunner turret. That's an annual subscription. We have custom extensions on Twitch, so if you want to engage with the pilots on the Twitch stream, you pay Twitch bits. And then finally, we sell virtual items because, of course, your cockpit and your avatar have to look great. Now, it's a great market. We're at the convergence of drone racing and esports. DRL in their opening season on ESPN had 75 million viewers. You know, they only had 12 real pilots, but the 75 million are who we want to come in and give them a chance to fly. And of course, esports, the billion-dollar market with 450 million viewers last year. In terms of the drone space, we stand above our competitors in consumer engagement and scalability. This is the team. My background is in technology. Aerospace, JPL, and orbital sciences, rockets. I was CTO at Acclaim Games, which we sold to Disney Playdom. My partner, John Platten, is a video game industry pioneer. So he was creative director at Niantic, where they built Ingress and, of course, Pokemon Go. In terms of investments, we've had a small 50K friends round. We're looking for a 1 million seed round in the May timeframe. We'd love for investors who are interested to follow us. We have been recognized for our innovation, so we were invited to the Aero Innovate program, an exclusive program at the Oshkosh Air Show. And Duke University has invited us onto their X Prize Avatar team competition. And it sort of ties into the broader opportunity of a telerobotics platform with 5G coming out that we certainly plan to be a part of. And we've gotten some great press as well. Well, thank you for your attention. Please come watch our Twitch streams. We'll be launching next month with consumer flights, so we'd love to have you come fly with us as well. Thank you. Questions?
Hey there.
Yeah.
Great pitch, thank you.
Thank
Super
you.
interesting. You mentioned that you're more scalable and more engaging than your competitors. Can you talk a little bit more about that?
Absolutely. So our background coming out of video games is really one in massive multiplayer gaming. And so we're leveraging that technology. You win. We're leveraging that kind of multiplayer technology for bringing people into these hardware-based experiences in a way that enterprise solutions don't utilize. So the consumer use case forces us to be able to handle thousands of simultaneous flying drones in a way that enterprise companies don't have to handle today. Any questions from Oculus? We do have an Oculus client.
Is this for consumers or arcades, or who do you sell to?
So you're flying from home. So it's for consumers, video game industry initially at first, and then we plan to broaden out in enterprise applications. So we just recently signed an R&D agreement with Cedars-Sinai for some remote surgical applications, which utilize this AR technology in that space as well. But our go-to-market is really the consumer space.
And what drones are you using?
So we're using off-the-shelf drones. So we're utilizing drones from DJI and Parrot in the experience.
Is it collaborative? Like, can players join? How many players can be?
Yeah. So in the cockpit, what you see, this is one of the streamers, and there is actually a co-pilot. There is some strategy involved in terms of there are some challenge objects which are shooting at you. You need to select weapons and shoot back, and you have to navigate the map and figure out where your competitors are. So it takes the two, and that banter is really fascinating on the Twitch stream.
Can you talk about the traction a little bit? Like,
Sure.
Since you launched last
Yeah,
month.
so we launched last month. We've had about 250 streamers on Twitch come through the platform. We have a weekly tournament with, if you're at the top of the leaderboard, you get a $100 Amazon gift card. So it's going really great. And one of the things we've had to innovate is the ability to bring in, pilot crews into the same drone, and then half hour later take them out of the drone and bring in the next one, all while we're changing batteries and everything else. So there's been innovation in the actual operational process as well. But that has allowed us then to move next month into the consumer space where there'll be thousands of people flying. Okay? Feedback?
What does your utilization look like per day or per drone? How many sessions are you doing per day?
Sure. So basically our sessions are 15 minutes long. And so you're looking at a pilot crew of 2. So coming in there, so you're looking at 8 per hour per drone. But the scalability really comes in the ride-along subscription. So you can actually be in the cockpit with the pilot crew. And it's that one to many that makes the business model work.
Why are you raising $1 million?
Yeah, so we bootstrapped to date, and basically it's me at the field along with a few other engineers. So we were ready to really launch into a global course enterprise. And so we have partners set up in Australia and Dubai, and we need a team filled out who can actually engage and build that business model. So it's really building out the business team for V-Rotors. Very good. Thank you so much.
Okay, we have about 30 seconds, maybe some of our audience can raise your question.
What happens when it crashes?
Well, what happens when it crashes was the question. So, well, that's our challenge, but we actually have a boundary system that keeps everything flying safely, and there is somebody at the field that hits a button if they feel like there's anything happening that's out of the ordinary, and bring that baby safely home. So, but that's part of the excitement, is that you are flying a real drone, it's a real environment, it's the real weather that day, the clouds, the sun, or whatever. So please join us, V-Rotors. Thank you. I'm still here. Okay.
Feedback. Okay. You have most of the components that I would expect in a pitch. What might be nice is a video.
Yeah.
Right, to really engage
Absolutely. In fact, every one of these pictures is animated, but in the PDF it doesn't animate. But actually, they're all little animated GIFs, so you would have actually seen those.
Great.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks so much for coming. It was great to see both megatrends in esports as well as see some unit economics highlighted in there. So most of the components that we would expect in the pitch.
Okay.
Super excited. Let me know when it's available for sign up.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Great job. You had 40 seconds left of time, and so I
Okay.
think there was like opportunity for you to have gone a little bit deeper on the competitive slide, where you just sort of like glanced
Yes.
over it really quickly and then went in and actually said, like, we built this legacy architecture already that gives us, advantages in terms of scalability. I think you could have given a moment to talking about that.
Good point.
And then also, I think the fundraising side, just because you had extra time,
Yes.
you could have gone in to say like what milestones you're looking to reach with the $1 million.
Right.
So like with the new BD team, what are you hoping to reach like once you launch this for GA in May?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So you put the timer behind us intentionally? Okay, because it was in front, All right.
Yeah, good job. I enjoyed the presentation. I think one thing is that ask you about the traction, because I think even if you just launch for 1 month, it would still be helpful just to put that up. Just for
Absolutely. The
investors.
metrics.
Yeah, just to
Sure.
understand the metrics. And also, I think it would be helpful to just talk a little bit more about your acquisition strategies, how you're gonna, generate revenues and all this stuff.
Sure,
Yeah.
sure. The end result of this venture, please. Yeah. Fantastic. Thank you, everybody. Appreciate it.
Thank you. So now let's welcome our third team. Public platform chain.
So my name is Shane Usher, and previously I attended Georgia Tech. I was an ML engineer at a Series B company called Threadloom, and before that I was also in the Ads ML team for Yelp and Reddit. So Tonic is a platform that helps new Shopify store owners actually acquire customers profitably through Facebook ads. Meet Henry. He's a East Coast native, and about a year ago, he actually started a Shopify store. And when he joined one of the many Shopify communities I'm a part of, he was complaining about his sales being low. He was actually making $5 per product purchase, but through Facebook ads, the cost per purchase was $20. That means he was losing $15 per purchase. It was not until months of iterating and trying keywords and seeing what is the most cost effective that he finally started making money. And he started off making $4,000 per day after like several months. And then soon he started, recently after the new year, he started making $35,000 per year. Well, per day, sorry. And this isn't a one-time case. It's actually multiple people that's experiencing this. And if you look at Google Trends, the terms dropshipping and Shopify has been increasing steadily year over year. So let me tell you about myself. In 2000.